How's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name's ROHAN and this is my platform where I do fight sports related content. And in this video, I'll be breaking down the upcoming welterweight world championship rematch between Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. Now, this is such an incredible fight. Now, I know the first fight wasn't incredible. It was kind of one-sided. It was kind of dominant by Kamaru Usman. But this is an incredible fight, and I'll tell you why. Jorge Masvidal in that first fight showed us glimpses of true potential in terms of being able to upset Kamaru Usman. He showed us that he's incredibly tough to take down. He showed us that he's got great conditioning even on short notice. He showed us that on the feet he enjoys an advantage over Kamaru Usman, and he showed us that he's got the power to hurt Usman. Although we didn't actually see him hurt Usman, I think from the small exchanges that we saw, we know that Masvidal is a problem for Usman on the feet. This fight is different because Masvidal has had, plenty of time to prepare for this fight. He's coming into this fight in what I would assume is going to be the best shape of his career against the toughest opponent of his career. And this time, no ready-made excuses. He's got to come in there. For Kamaru Usman, in his legacy, he wants to put a stamp on this and shut up Jorge Masvidal once and for all. And for Jorge Masvidal, he wants to get that world championship and show people that I'm not just a BMF champion. No, I am the truly best welterweight in the world, and that is a very, very exciting thing for us as fight fans to consider. So this is a very, very exciting and important fight in the welterweight division. With that said, let's break this one down. So Jorge Masvidal is getting on in age. He's now 36 years old and he has been around for a long time. He hasn't shown me any telltale signs of a fighter that's slowing down or getting washed up. But at 36 years old, you have to consider that he's going to start to slow down. Is this going to be the night? Who knows? Maybe. He's fighting Kamaru Usman, who is 33 years old. Now, Usman is vastly less experienced in mixed martial arts and he hasn't shown any signs of telltale slowdown. So, in my opinion, he's in his prime. And to be fair, so is Jorge Masvidal. I don't think age is going to be a factor in this fight, but it could be. Kamaru Usman has a professional mixed martial arts record of 18 wins and 1 loss. He fights the vastly more experienced Jorge Masvidal, who's got 35 wins and 14 losses. Now, whilst that is a lot of losses, you got to remember he's had more fights than practically anyone in the welterweight division. And I don't actually think experience is going to be a factor in this fight because Usman's used to fighting those world championship main events at this point, and Masvidal's been around for a long time. He's seen it all. He's been in there in 5-round fights with Gilbert Melendez back in Strikeforce. Obviously, he's fought Kamaru Usman already. He fought for that BMF title in main event in Madison Square Garden in what was a huge fight. So experience will not be a factor in this fight. Kamaru Usman stands at 6 foot tall, which makes him an inch taller than the 5'11" Jorge Masvidal. Now that's going to be very, very interesting to see how he's able to use that height advantage over him. But what's going to be even more interesting is the fact that Jorge Masvidal is actually going to enjoy a 2-inch reach advantage over Kamaru Usman. I believe Kamaru Usman has a 74-inch reach and Jorge Masvidal has a 76-inch reach. So it's going to be interesting to see how he utilizes that advantage. But I don't think it's going to play out too much because I think he ain't going to be given the distance. But anyways, we'll talk about that. To describe their styles, Kamaru Usman is a pressure fighter. He likes to push Jorge Masvidal, who fighters, not just Jorge Masvidal, but he likes to put fighters against the cage. He likes to beat him up against the cage where he tends to carry big power in his hands and he can utilize his wrestling to take fighters down, and that's kind of where he shines, in that sort of grindy, overwhelming fight where he just kind of drowns his opponent. Masvidal, to describe his style, he's a striker. He carries power in his hands and feet. Obviously, he's shown to be very explosive. He got that incredible flying knee KO of Ben Askren. It kind of ended Ben Askren's career there. But we've seen a lot from Jorge Masvidal in terms of his abilities when it comes to being a striker. But what we've actually also seen from Jorge Masvidal is that he's incredibly difficult to take down. He's incredibly tough to submit. Don't believe me, ask Damian Maia, who said Masvidal may just be the best grappler he's fought in MMA. Some of their key wins. For Usman now, he's got an incredible resume at this point, but if you just look at it going backwards, he's beaten Gilbert Burns, he's beaten Jorge Masvidal himself, he's beaten Colby Covington to break his jaw and shut his mouth, he beat Tyron Woodley, Rafael Dos Anjos, Damian Maia, Leon Edwards. What an incredible resume. Masvidal's got a pretty good resume himself. He's been around for a long, long time, and he's got wins over the likes of Donald Cerrone when Donald Cerrone was streaking, Nate Diaz, Darren Till, Ben Askren. That's an incredible win right there. He obviously beat Michael Chiesa, who's a top 5 welterweight at this point. So they've both got some very, very good wins on their resumes, and they should be both very proud of their careers coming into this fight. The biggest issue for Usman in this fight, coming into this fight, is going to be that Jorge Masvidal is going to have had ample time to prepare, and he enjoys an advantage in striking. So obviously, the biggest issue for Usman is going to be his striking. The biggest issue for Masvidal is going to be the reverse of that. It's going to be his wrestling, because we saw what happened in the last fight, and we know for a fact that Usman's going to try to do exactly that. The X factor for Usman is going to be his wrestling, of course, and for Masvidal is going to be his stand-up and his explosive abilities in those exchanges that he might be able to hurt him, and that's going to be where this fight is going to be really dangerous for Usman. With that said, let's get into my prediction. This is going to be exactly like the first fight, where Masvidal is going to want to get himself space and he's going to want to do damage to Usman. For Usman, he's going to want to close the space and he's going to want to take Masvidal down. What we saw in the last fight is that Masvidal was incredibly tough to take down, and I don't think that that's going to change. Actually, I don't think it's going to change either way, to be honest with you guys. I think whilst Masvidal was going to have better conditioning in this fight, and whilst Masvidal is going to have probably a better game plan, is going to be smarter to what Usman's trying to do, I don't think that he's going to have enough time to be able to make the changes in his game to be able to stop Kamaru Usman from doing that. He's not going to get bigger and stronger. He's not going to become a better wrestler, whilst Usman's still going to struggle to take him down. I think the fight is going to be practically the same, if I'm honest with you. Now, Jorge Masvidal can do a lot of damage to Usman in the breaks, and I think he's going to be able to work himself into a position where he's able to give himself longer breaks and more time in between the takedowns, and he's going to be able to do more damage to Usman. On the feet, he is vastly superior to Usman, in the same way that Usman is a vastly better, stronger wrestler than Masvidal. So Masvidal is in this fight and he can win this fight, but Jorge just does not have the ability to keep Usman off him for 25 minutes, and because he does not, I think at some point Usman is going to be able to get his hands on him in every exchange, and when he does that, he's either going to be able to push him against the cage where he may not do no damage, but he's winning points, or he may be able to take it down where he is able to do some damage, or even just hold him there. But Masvidal is going to get very frustrated, and unfortunately, just like the first fight, I'm predicting that Usman wins a shutout decision. Fight fans, for my official prediction, I'm going with Kamaru Usman for the decision to walk away with the World Championship belt and be still the welterweight champion of the world. Anyways, that's just my opinion. What's your opinion? Why don't you guys comment below? Let me know how you see this fight going. Let me know if you enjoyed this breakdown. If you're new to the channel, remember to like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Thank you for watching. I'm Rohan, and this is Mindful Combat.